Family maps. Childhood. Richard, at that time Dickie, and me as kids drawing together. Comics mainly, but also monsters, ancient Rome, and as seen as the 1960s, futuristic technology. Richard and me, this in the afternoon before our parents start their post-dinner quote-unquote discussions, happy. And in the afternoon, as we draw, the world seeming to agree. Green leaves on the trees, hot sunbeams in the air, everything radiating vitality and juice and energy. Then, many years later, Richard in a bed, a hospital bed. Richard, skinny as a rake, a cancer patient. Richard's liver already a hard, failed clot in his gut. Richard dying. This is a year and a half before the end. I've flown to Canada again, on this occasion, one of those crazy, super short overseas trips that Koreans are used to, but that North Americans think are wasteful. Universal cultural agreement on the necessity of this one, though. During a teleconference with Montreal General's doctors, one says, "If you want to see your brother one more time, I suggest you come in the next week." So, me arriving in Montreal, Pierre Elliott Trudeau Airport. Me trying to figure out yet another frigging complicated vending machine that's used in travel. Even the machines in Japan are easier to figure out than this one in Montreal. Me on a bus, then in a taxi. Me arriving at the hotel on Sherbrooke where my dad is. My dad and I hugging. 1 year and a half before the climactic end, my father still physically fairly substantial. Then the next morning, another taxi, and my dad and I arriving at Montreal General, going to the 15th or 18th or 200th floor. The hospital feels like a building housing a city, and seeing first my mom close to the hospital room door, and then a second later, emaciated Richard. I'm not shocked exactly. The only reason I'm here is because the doctors have told me Richard is terminal. When I had seen Richard a year ago, his ascites was so bad he looked like he'd swallowed an inflatable mattress. Now the ascites bloat is gone. Medical teams have drained the fluid, but in place of bloat is the even more pernicious feature of emaciation. Liver failure and malnutrition have cleared Richard's skin, blotchy when he was still on the booze, and receded his hairline. He looks like a born intellectual. His high forehead, a family trait, is more pronounced than ever. But this pulling back, this making taut, has, for some reason, affected his mouth. His teeth look weird. They have the feral look of a creature whose food supply is very uneven. Apart from everything else, the limbs as thin as sticks, the plastic tubes in his arms, the medical prognoses, you can tell this is a human being in mortally bad shape. He resembles a victim, someone imprisoned and deliberately starved and now too weak to crawl back to health. But he's friendly. He smiles as soon as he sees me. "Hey," he says in a tone that would be cheerful if it weren't hideous in its underlying weakness.